It's time, it's time, it's time. Nature Talk, episode 27. I'm back at my favorite spot on this beautiful day of March the 13th, 2024. It is now 11:35 a.m., 35 minutes away from the second stage of the day, which is afternoon. So if your morning got off to a rough start, that's only one stage of the day. You still got the afternoon and you still got the night to get through. We back at my favorite spot. As you can see, the water is going into the right direction. Beautiful day. Beautiful day. Spring will start on next Tuesday, March the 19th, 2024. But the weather is already transitioning, baby. And it's a beautiful day out here. As you can see, I still got my skelly on and I got my varsity jacket on. It's still a nice little breeze. It's still a little chilly, but it's a nice chilly. It's a nice breeze. But I digress. To the topic. Compartmentalizing. Now, what is the definition of compartmentalizing? The definition of compartmentalizing means to separate and divide. I'm going to say that one more time. It means to separate and divide. Okay? Now, normally when we hear compartmentalize, it's normally used in a negative sense. It's used in terms of narcissism, narcissistic behavior, people who are narcissists, and is also viewed or normally seen and talked about in terms of trauma. Now, trauma is anything disparaging or distressing that's pretty much hard to overcome. Now, in my life, I dealt with trauma, and I'm sure you probably dealt with trauma. Okay? But, you know, when you were a child, things that happened to you, that was outside of your control. But when you become an adult, it's not your fault, but now it's your responsibility to overcome it and become better. There's things in my life. I've dealt with trauma in my life when I was a kid, teenager, and even as an adult. But it's my responsibility to overcome it. It's my responsibility to use that trauma to become great. Turn every opportunity into greatness. Every negative into a positive. Now, when it comes to compartmentalizing, some people, I'm not going to say most and I'm not going to say all, some people, they take those negative experiences, those distressing experiences, those disparaging experiences, and they push them to the side, never dealing with them. See, when you compartmentalize the things that happen to you negatively, you push them to the side. You never resolve them. And that's when they hurt you. Okay? That's when they hurt you. And I first came across compartmentalizing from the golf legend, Tiger Woods. I watched his HBO documentary called Tiger. Make sure y'all check it out on HBO Max. And throughout this documentary, the narrator was pretty much talking about how he was able to separate his personal life from his professional life. Everything he had going on personally, and at that time, his personal life was in shambles. He was living a double life. he was able to separate that from him performing on the golf course. And he was still winning. But eventually, his personal life caught up to him. Okay? Tiger Woods had a squeaky clean image, clean cut, married, children, but he was living a double life. And that double life caught up to him. Okay? And because he didn't resolve his personal life, it caught up to him. And in life, you don't want to compartmentalize in a negative way. Any issues, any problems, anything in your life that's not resolved, I encourage you to resolve it. Now, I'm not telling you to resolve it. I think you should resolve it. You know, at the end of the day, it's your life. You can do what you want. But for me, there's some things in my life that I need to resolve. There's some trauma in my life that I need to resolve. And I'm going to use that trauma to become better, to become greater, to become stronger, to become wiser in my life. That's what I'm going to do. And I encourage you to do the same. Now, for compartmentalizing in a positive way, and this is one of the things I need to work on. Now, for me, when you compartmentalize in a positive way, everything in your life that's positive, you separate it and none of them meet. For example, my relationship with my father is different than my relationship with my mother. My work relationship is different than my personal relationship. When I'm at work, I'm at work. When I'm not at work, I'm not at work. I don't never let my personal life affect my professional life. And I've had situations with women where I cut it a little too close, and it never got to the point where it cost me my job, or it never got to the point where, you know, my personal life was in pretty much shambles. But I learned from those situations, and within those situations, it's best to pretty much have a personal relationship with the people that are personal in your life, and have just a professional relationship with the people that are professional in your life. Okay? And I've seen managers that I work with, you know, deal with their coworkers personally, and it affected them professionally. You know? And it's something I gotta work on, you know. I tend to become a little too personal with people during my work shift, but I never hang out with people that I work with. I never do that because I want to keep a strictly professional relationship. Now, if we're no longer dealing with each other professional, then that's something different. Okay? But based off of, you know, the experiences of other people that I've observed, and even in my own life, like I said, I've cut it close to where I've dealt with women, you know, professionally, that work for the company, not so much the company, but the building that I worked in. I cut it close. I never dealt with women that worked with me directly. It was never worth it to me, but I've dealt with women that work with me indirectly. For example, if I work in a building, I might work for a whole different company than a woman that works in the building. You know, she might be a nurse, I might be a front desk person for a whole different company, but it's still sticky. And at this point in my life, I've chosen to quit while I'm ahead. I've chosen to learn from those experiences. And from this moment forward, it's best for me to compartmentalize. You know, if I'm dealing with somebody professionally, I'm just dealing with them professionally. If I'm dealing with them personally, I'm dealing with them personally. Now, once our business is done, once we're not working together anymore, then if we want to develop a personal relationship, we can. But until the business is done, until the professionalism is done, we're going to keep a professional relationship. Even when it comes to developing personal relationships with men in terms of friendships, in terms of, you know, building manhood. You know, I don't let nobody get close to me, you know, that I have a professional relationship with, because at the end of the day, 99% of the time, 90% of the time, or 95% of the time, one of them are going to suffer. If you deal with somebody, personally that you're dealing with professionally, you know, your professional will suffer. Or if you're dealing with somebody that you do it personally, professionally, the personal is going to suffer. Okay? Now, you might be able to salvage one, or both of them might suffer. So I encourage you today, and this is something that I'm going to work on. Compartmentalize, and always remember, days become weeks, weeks become months, months become years, and years become decades. Every day, get a little bit better. Every week, get better. Every month, get a lot better. And every year, get a whole lot better. Because it's time, it's time, it's time. I have a brief announcement. Next week, I'm going to be predicting my pick, my ultimate pick for the March Madness 2024, along with my topic for next week. So stay tuned. I will be doing my usual topic for next week, and I will be announcing my overall March Madness 24 pick for the NCAA National Championship winner. I'm excited. March Madness, let's go. The madness of March. Enjoy your day, enjoy your week, and until next time, it's time, it's time, it's time.